Hey guys, how's it going? We just got some really awesome news tonight. We got a bunch of new cards revealed at a premium pack. If you don't know, every year Konami makes a premium pack, and the goal of that pack is to import cards from the manga and turn them into real cards for the OCG and TCG. This is pretty awesome because a lot of the characters from those series are pretty popular, so they get some really nice support. Another thing that they get to do is something called cross promotion. Sometimes characters get support in core sets and they get the pack cover for that. For example, Jack got support in Blazing Dominion and his Red Dragon Archfiend is the cover for that set. He also got support for his Resonator cards, which are a very important part of Red Dragon Archfiend. We also got a Junk Warrior structure deck earlier this year for Yusei, so Yusei also got 2 new cards here. Now the rest of the premium pack did get revealed for all the new cards, but some of them are pretty mid, some of them are also pretty bad, and some of them are just not very interesting at all. I don't know if I'll make a video and cover the other cards because some of them are really not too interesting. However, I really felt like I had to cover the Synchro cards just because I love Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds and I think Jack and Yusei both are really cool. Junk and Synchron is also one of my favorite decks. I really enjoy playing that one. Also, you probably know that I really like Red Dragon Archfiend a lot as well, just because I upload so many videos about that deck. When Blazing Dominion first got revealed, pretty much all of my videos have been about the new Red Dragon Archfiend support. I have just made so many combos showing you how to play the deck, and it's been a ton of fun for me. Even back when Jack got support in the Crimson King structure deck, I made pretty much a video on all the new cards. I made a bunch of combos on them too, and I even made a combo guide for that deck, so I've invested a lot of time into that archetype. I did the same for Junk Warrior, but the cards were so disappointing that it was really hard to make combos on them. They got like a couple of good cards at most, and it really wasn't that fun to play with the new cards, but these new cards definitely make up for that. So Yusei got 2 new Junk main deck monsters while Jack got a spell and a trap. We're gonna go over Jack cards really quickly and then we'll get to Yusei's cards. Those Junk cards are definitely by far what I want to talk about the most. Those cards are so broken and they open up a brand new way to play Synchron. I even have a combo that'll show you how strong these cards really are. The first card is called Overtuning. If you control a tuner, you can special summon 1 tuner from your hand, deck, or grave, but also you cannot summon anything from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except Synchros. This card is just pretty mid. First of all, it's unsearchable because there isn't a card that searches a tuning card in the game. Maybe that could change in the future and you get a Resonator card that searches a tuning card, but for now it's just really bad. The card's effect isn't bad at all, it's pretty good, and it's very easy to make the activation requirement. Getting a tuner on the field in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is one of the easiest things to do. You're never gonna have to worry about not having a tuner if you're playing a Synchro deck. The problem with this card is that it only does something when you already have a play. These are cards that you call win more. They only help you when you're already playing the game, but they don't do anything to help facilitate a play. Yeah, I know summoning any tuner from the deck is really strong and it doesn't negate the card's effect. This would actually be pretty good in Cool Tune. This card would be great to get access to Cool Tune Q. That is the best monster in Cool Tune. Another card that's pretty good is Red Nova, just because when you use that card to synchro summon using 2 tuner monsters, that card will let you summon a Fire Fiend monster from your deck, which is definitely going to be Cool Tune Reiko. Reiko is very strong because that card will just get you a search for any Cool Tune monster from your deck. Obviously this card has a lot of applications, but it's not going to be too useful in many scenarios. Like I said, the issue is it just only helps you when you already have a play. It doesn't help you make a play. The last card is a trap called Champion's Pulse. During your opponent's turn, they get to gain 1000 life points and then you end the battle phase. When your opponent activates a monster effect, if they control more cards than you do, special summon 1 Red Dragon Archfiend or 1 Hot Red Dragon Archfiend from your extra deck or grave, and if you do, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that monster. Now this effect is pretty interesting, but it's just a bad card overall. First of all, this card is a trap, so it's by far the slowest card type in the game. If you draw this card going first, it just does nothing. Now the idea isn't that bad, it's because if your opponent attacks you, you just get to end the battle phase, and alternatively, if they try to destroy this card before the battle phase, most of the time if they want to do that, you have to use a monster effect, so that's how this card would work. However, it's just kinda bad, because this card only summons the original Red Dragon Archfiend and Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. This does not summon Abyss, by the way, because it's not a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend monster. Like, if you go first and you make a board, this card doesn't do anything, it's useless. And if you go second, then it's not gonna help you try to break your opponent's board, you're just gonna set this card. It's just very mid and very limited in the applications that you can use this card. So those are Jack's very 2 bad cards, but now we're gonna get into the good stuff. This is Yusei's really good 2 cards. The first card is called Junk MEISTER. It's a level 4 Earth Warrior, so you're off to a very good start because you can rota for this. You can reveal 1 warrior or start a synchro monster in your extra deck. You can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except synchro monsters. If this card is normal or special summoned, you get to add a junk card from your deck to your hand except Junk MEISTER. You get to target a junk monster you control, decrease its level by up to 2. Now this card is is insanely broken. This has to be one of the best cards ever made for Junk and Synchron. First of all, this card is incredibly easy to summon, even in decks that aren't even Synchron. Because you get to reveal any starter Synchro monster, you can reveal Axel Synchro Stardust Dragon. Now I know you're probably not going to play this card in any non-Synchron decks just because the lock to only summoning Synchro monsters is pretty restrictive. However, if you're playing a Synchro deck, this card's amazing because it's just a free starter and an extender. This card will also be great for baiting out a hand trap because your opponent's not going to let this resolve. It works very well with Junk Synchron. This card also did not take up your normal summon, so you can summon that card. This pretty much lets you make any Synchro from level 5 to 7. What you can just do if you want to make Junk Speeder is you target one of your monsters, decrease the level by 2, and now you either have a level 3 and a level 2 or a level 1 and a level 4. Either of those work to help you make Junk Speeder. So a 1-card Junk Speeder without using your normal summon is pretty good. However, if we add the other new card into this mix, it gets even better. The next card is called Junk Armor. If this card is added to your hand except by drawing it, you can special summon this card. Your opponent cannot target Synchro monsters you control with Warrior or Stardust in their original name with card effects. You contribute this card to special summon one Junk or Synchron monster from your deck in defense position except Junk Armor. This card is a free summon immediately, but it's also a lone fire for Junk or Synchron. This not negating the card's effect either is insane. This opens up so many different possibilities. Your opponent not being able to target your Synchro monsters is pretty cool because this will help Scrap Warrior or Axel Synchro Stardust Dragon. So it's very clear that these two cards are very good, but one of the things that makes them very good is now you can anti-Nibiru in Junk Speeder. One of the biggest issues that Synchrons have is that the deck just revolves around Junk Speeder. If that card resolves properly, then you win. If it doesn't, then you just lose. This makes it incredibly difficult to play Synchron because they also have a really hard time stopping Nibiru. Nibiru completely destroys this deck. There's actually no counterplay in Synchron to that card, but now with these two new cards they can finally beat it. I'm going to show you guys how to beat Nibiru and Junk Speeder with these two new cards. So for this combo you only need 2 cards in your hand or only 1.5 card depending on the other card that you opened. One of the cards has to be Junk Meister and we're going to activate this card's effect. You're going to reveal Axel Synchro Stardust Dragon in your extra deck to summon this card. On summon, what this card will let you do is add a Junk card from your deck to your hand. We're going to add Junk Armor. The effect of Junk Armor will activate now. Because this card was added to our hand except by drawing it, you can special summon this card. Now you contribute Junk Armor on the field to summon a Junk or Synchron card from our deck. There are a few different possibilities, but I'll show you all the ones that you can do. The first one is that you can summon Jet Synchron from your deck. Because you have Junk Meister who's level 4 and Jet Synchron who's level 1, you can make Junk Speeder. Because Jet Synchron was sent to the grave as Synchro material, you can add another Junk Synchron, and you also didn't use your normal summon. This is pretty good, but it loses to Nib, so it's not really that great in this situation. Another card that you can summon is Stardust Synchron. This card is pretty good. It can add a spell and trap that mentions Stardust Dragon from your deck to your hand. Also, when the card is in the grave, you contribute a monster you control to summon this card back from the grave. Now these effects are pretty good, but it's not what we want to do here. Neither of these are going to beat Nibiru. Now the best card that you do want to summon in this situation is definitely Revolution Synchron. This card has a very good effect in the hand. If this card is in the hand, you can Synchro summon a Power Tool monster or a level 7 or 8 Dragon monster. You can use this card as material from the hand. Now that's a pretty good effect, but this card is already on the field so we don't really care about it. Why is this card so good? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take Revolution Synchron and our Junk Meister so we can Synchro summon Power Tool Dragon. Now the card doesn't have to be Power Tool Dragon, but it should be a level 7 Synchro that actually gets you a card. That's the reason why I picked Power Tool Dragon. What Power Tool Dragon does is you reveal 3 equip spells in your deck and then your opponent randomly picks one for you to add to your hand and you shuffle the other 2 back into the deck. Now you have 2 choices here that I think are the best. It's Living Fossil and DDR. The best one in my opinion is by far Living Fossil because it will just bring back a level 4 or lower monster from your grave. DDR is pretty good, but it's for more specific build of Synchron. This is for the hand rip style of the deck where you just summon Cypher Mode Omega as many times as possible. Then you summon Trishula off the effect of Crimson Dragon, and then you activate Crimson Dragon again on your opponent's turn to summon another Trishula. So unless you're playing the hand rip variant, I would not pick DDR. I would just grab Living Fossil, which is what I'm going to do. Revolution Synchron has a very good effect in the grave. If you control a level 7 or higher Synchro monster while this card is in the grave, you send the top card from your deck to the grave to summon this card, but if you do, it becomes a level 1. This is great because we have a level 7 Synchro and we have a level 1 tuner so we can make a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. However, a very important thing to keep in mind is that Revolution Synchron summon is actually your 5th summon. This means that you can actually get hit by Nibiru here, but if you do, that's actually pretty good. Now it would definitely be better if you could summon Crystal Wing by your 5th summon and just negate Nibiru, but this is still fine too. Now if your opponent holds on to Nib in their hand, they just screwed up because now you have a monster negate on the field. However, if they nib you here, that's going to be totally fine because you still haven't used your normal summon. The Nibiru token is pretty good too because that token is a level 11 and with a level 1 tuner you can make Crimson Dragon. It's honestly fine if you get nibbed here. So let's just say our opponent did have nib and now we can make Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. So let's just say our opponent's not going to activate nib, but if they have the card in their hand, they definitely messed up because you're going to summon Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Now I'm just going to show you the other cards that you have in your hand that get you to a combo. There are a ton of cards here so you don't have to worry. Any of these cards would lead to a combo in your hand. Pretty much the ideal target to have in your hand is Junk Synchron. That card's the best. You will already have a level 2 monster in your grave with Junk Armor, so that's very nice, so you can just summon Junk Speeder. Other cards that work here are Synchro Fellows, Rhoda, Tuning, Ready Set Duel, any card that gets you to Junk Synchron. You also can use cards like Full Speed Warrior or Ready Driver because those cards will make Scrap Warrior who will get you Junk Synchron. You have so many different options here. Now the rest of the combo here doesn't matter. The point of this video wasn't to show you a Junk Speeder combo. The point of this video is to show you now you can finally beat Nibiru. These two new cards are amazing and they honestly make up for that terrible Junk Warrior structure deck. That structure deck might be one of the worst structure decks ever in modern times, but these new cards really do make it better. I honestly don't mind the bad structure deck now considering Konami just made these two really good Junk cards. While I do wish Jack's Red Dragon Archfiend support cards were a bit better, I honestly could not complain because Yusei got some really good support here. These two Junk cards really do address a lot of the issues in Synchron and Junk Speeder. Another great thing is that you being able to summon Crystal Wing will definitely catch your opponent off guard. A lot of the time when people play against Synchron, what they always do is they hold on to their nib. The reason why is they want to save it for when you summon Junk Speeder and hit that card. This will be really nice to catch your opponent off guard and it will be a knowledge check. If your opponent isn't aware of the new Junk support, then you'll definitely be able to make a Crystal Wing. This is what makes these two new Junk cards really good. Now these two new cards can definitely do a lot more things than stop Nibiru, but being able to stop Nib I think is the number one reason to play these cards. Using these cards as more extenders I think is a really bad waste just because this deck already has so many extenders. The problem that this deck has is that they get destroyed by Nibiru. This is why I think the Junk cards are so good. They solve the core issue with this deck. So I'm very happy that Synchron and Junk Speeder finally have a way to play around Nibiru. It was honestly really stupid how bad this deck was against that card and they had no counterplay. Now while I do wish the Red Dragon Archfiend support was as good as the Junk support in the set, I don't think people can complain. I think the Red Dragon Archfiend support in Blazing Dominion was pretty good, so I think it's fine. I don't know if I'm going to make another video on the other premium pack cards, and like I said, a lot of those cards are either really bad or just pretty mid and not very interesting, but if I do end up deciding to make a video, you guys will just see them. Anyways, have a good one guys, take care.